The Ink and Paint Club podcast is intended for mature audiences only, so don't tell your parents! Listener discretion is advised.
Very clearly it's because they're animal characters, they got big funny eyes, and they're very easy to draw. That's literally why that's so popular.
I call bullshit on that. I can't draw Sonic to save my life. He always looks weird.
What are you giggling about over there?
It's just we all got silent after what he said.
You're listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast, your weekly home for animation reviews and discussions.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're staying healthy. Welcome to another episode of the Ink and Paint. Jesus Christ!
Oh no, he's got the corona.
Oh God, I'm dying. No, welcome to the Ink and Paint Club podcast. My name is JD, and as far as I know, I'm disease-free. Over there is Kyle. I can't speak for him.
So we've heard, JD.
Yeah, and Matt is a clean boy, or at least I like to believe that he is.
I'm a clean boy.
Got a little weird. So this whole disease thing isn't going away anytime soon, and Kyle thought it'd be timely if we talked about a movie that dealt with sickness and the human body. So we're gonna talk about the old gem, Osmosis Jones.
Osmosis Jones was I was gonna say it was the last bit of fun that we got before 9/11 happened.
Damn.
It was the movie that nobody asked for.
But we all remember fondly for some reason.
Honestly, remembered a lot more than I thought I would when I rewatched it. There's and I'm not sure if maybe that was just from the frequency. I felt the same way when we were talking about Titan AE. There's a lot of that I still remember just from promotional stuff. But I feel like I think I remember watching Osmosis Jones a lot, like on television or on DVD or something.
Oh, dude, they played this on Cartoon Network almost yearly.
That was probably it too. Because I remember like when certain lines would happen, and like it would just like trigger something in my brain. I'm like, holy shit! No, I remembered like me and my cousin like watching it or something. Like we would like do like the lines and stuff back and forth to each other.
Oh
yeah.
Osmosis Jones is one of those movies that I feel like for us that grew up in the late 90s, it's just kind of burned into our brains.
It's a lot. Like I haven't watched it in such a long time, like probably since the early 2000s. But no, I would say like this movie's got like personality up the ass. Like it does like a lot of like unique stuff with like how it approaches like the material, like just having like all the different parts of the body being like different city districts, and like like how the police work and they're like being the white blood cells, and like how the viruses or the criminals coming in like on like pieces of food and stuff. Like it was amazing to see like how they kind of just like tackled all this different stuff and how they made it work within like the setting that they wanted it to do.
Yeah. I gotta say, one of my there's a few tropes in fiction that like I really dislike most of the time, and like the journey inside the body kind of trope is one of my least favorite, because I hate there's two tropes in cartoons that I always hate, is the shrinking to go inside the body trope and the one where they're obligatory have to be underwater for an episode. I hate that. Like if there's one episode of the original Teen Titans that I hate, and it is the episode where Aqualad's introduced, where they're underwater the entire episode. I hate that episode.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about when what was it? Cyborg gets sick and the Beast Boy and Gizmo go on him, right?
Oh God, I forgot about that.
I thought that's what the one you were going to bring up.
Oh, also that. I don't know. Deep Six, I don't know, is stuck in my craw for years. Anyway, yes, I also don't really care for the journey inside the body episodes.
But this one's not a journey into the body. It is the body.
That's what I'm saying. It deals with the inner workings, and you see what goes on inside the human body. But I think that like the different approach to this. Like you were saying, that they build the inside of the human body like a city. I still think that's a really novel approach, even though we've seen other medium or other stories kind of take a similar approach. But I still think it's a really kind of clever idea. And like you said, like making the white blood cells cops, and just seeing like how like viruses are brought into the human body through different means. I don't know, it was just a very clever concept to go through. Even more so that this movie is only half animated. That
Yeah, so I wanted to bring that up because I did a little bit of research into like the production team on this. I had no idea that the live action portions of this were directed by the Farrelly brothers, who are like most, who are most famously known for like There's Something About Mary, Me, Myself, and Irene, Dumb and Dumber, Shallow Hal, Kingpin. Another fact that I didn't realize is that one of the Farrelly brothers, Peter, he directed that movie Green Book, and that won the Academy Award for Best Picture.
Yeah. I remember I remember that, and I'm like, that is very strange.
Yeah, and then so the actual animation was directed by a team of Tom Cito and Piet Kroon, I believe is his name. They've got like well, at least in Cito's case, he's got like a mile-long list of the stuff that he's worked on. But for Kroon stuff, I saw just for notable stuff that I saw on there. Kroon's done various animation work on American Tail, Five Goes West, Iron Giant, Shrek 2, and the Peanuts movie. And then for Cito, it worked on like tons of shit, but like the most notable for me was Roger Rabbit, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, Pocahontas, Thief and the Cobbler, Prince of Egypt, and Shrek.
Damn.
See,
yeah, so
looking at the character animation in this, I saw a lot of like genie in some of the characters. So it kind of makes sense that there's a lot of...
He worked on Aladdin, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people like that on there.
Yeah.
It's just weird. You see how someone's animated, just the way that they move and stuff like that. You're like, huh, it's kind of interesting. They kind of have the same quirks as other characters in a sense.
It makes you wonder if maybe they brought him on specifically for that purpose. Like they saw the work on Genie and Aladdin, they're like, well, that's kind of similar to what we want to do with this Jones character. So I wonder if they approached him specifically because of that. I could see that being a possibility. So that's a very impressive resume from everyone involved. Not enough to stop this from being a box office bomb, though, unfortunately.
Yeah,
because I think.
But man, this is like a really stacked cast of like the who's who of the late 90s.
Yeah, because on the live action part, you got like Bill Murray and Molly Shannon and Chris Elliott, and then like for the voice cast, you've got like Chris Rock, Lawrence Fishburne, David Hyde Pierce, William Shatner, among just like tons of other people that have Phil Lamar, Richard Horvitz, all of them that have been just like little bit parts here and there, but very impressive cast.
Yeah, I mean, half of the personality from this movie comes from having in his prime Chris Rock, really overacting, and but also having David Hyde Pierce of Frasier fame being his straight man.
I believe you mean of Abe Sapien fame from Hellboy.
Yeah, well, he hadn't been Abe Sapien at this point yet.
No, I know.
He was. Wait, did Treasure Planet come out before? I think after this.
Treasure Planet came out in 2000, didn't it?
I don't know. I don't keep track of when shit happens.
It came out right around the same time.
He was in that too. He was Dr. Doppler.
Speaking of his character, though, like Drix, the way that they did, because like I said, it's just a culmination of like a bunch of different things. Because you got like the live action playing against the animation, but also Drix is like a fully CG character in this environment, and the way that it's stylized, like it looks so natural. Like even now, like this is done in 2001, so like it still looks so very good.
Well, I think because Drix was like kind of cell shaded in a way, and I mean it's the same way with video games. If you ever want to make your animation like evergreen, cell shading's the way to go because it looks cartoony to begin with.
Yeah. No, that's why I like Jet Set Radio and like Legend of Zelda Wind Waker still look pretty good today.
Yeah, they still look good today. But yeah, like even though Drix is a completely 3D character, you put him right next to Ozzy, who's a completely 2D character, and like, you know, you have a still frame and it's like you wouldn't know the difference. But man, Bill Murray is disgusting in this movie.
I was
Like,
gonna say,
I can't imagine. Like, I know there's some gross people out in the world, but like, Bill Murray takes it to a new level in this.
I remember reading that somewhere someone did a cut of Osmosis Jones that was just all the live action scenes, and
Oh,
it's
God.
just like in like 20 minutes of Bill Murray being the most deplorable human being. Like,
That's yeah.
Wonder how he feels about this movie.
oh, I'm sure he forgot it. I'm sure he forgot it right after shooting.
I mean, he can't hate it any more than Garfield 2.
Now,
Yeah.
Garfield was a passion project for him because he wanted to work with Oh, I remember Bill Murray's whole reason for being in the Garfield movie was like he was like tricked into it
Yeah.
because he thought he was working with somebody and it turned out that he mistook him for somebody else. But that doesn't explain why they brought him back on for the sequel. Maybe he wanted to work with Tim Curry. I think he was in that, right? He was in Tale of Two Kitties.
I've never seen
JD,
Garfield.
you're the resident expert on Garfield here, right? Was Tim Curry in Tale of Two Kitties?
I don't fucking know.
It's like your favorite movie, right?
I've seen the first one like once. I've never bothered watching the sequel, and I never will if I can help it.
Everyone out there, tell us how much you want us to review Garfield.
Yeah, you're gonna go on a fucking transatlantic flight and have to watch that shit.
I do. Do they still have Garfield as Tale of Two Kitties on rotation on the planes?
They
I
better.
don't know. Yeah, it shows Tim Curry's in here. And Bob Hoskins.
Oh, he's always a treat to have. He's in two of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Roger Rabbit and Mario Brothers, respectively.
There you go.
I had to clear it up. Sorry.
Okay.
Anyway, back to Osmosis Jones.
Yeah. I will say this movie gave us probably one of the most terrifying villains of the 90s. Because Thrax is fucking awful.
He reminded me of shit. I'm like blanking on the name now. It's a movie with like the fairies, and speaking of Tim Curry again, he plays like a smog monster in it. Why the fuck am I blanking on the name?
Oh, Ferngully?
Ferngully. Yeah,
Another movie I haven't seen.
yeah, I don't know why, because they're not even animated the same, but he gave me that same vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But dude, just like you literally get to watch this character kill a person from the inside. Like as a child, that is fucking terrifying. And like just how his design, he's very like a very angular. It has like that long coat and shit, and like carries around like bits of people he's taken as the virus is spread. Like that is legitimately terrifying as a child.
No, he's a pretty rad villain, and plus he's the one that's voiced by like Lawrence Fishburne. Like what a great choice to have to play.
Oh no, yeah, he nails that character.
Speaking of Lawrence Fishburne, there is a because like I watched through the whole thing and like aside from like because they throw in like some references here and there. Nothing like too explicit, like nothing like too dated because they reference like, you know, some like music and stuff. Aside from like the music being predominantly like late 90s, early 2000s, like hip hop and R&B, which is a pretty good soundtrack actually.
Kid Rock is in this movie.
Oh my god! Well, Kid Rock is actually in this movie. Like
he's
a germ.
He's Kidney Rock.
Oh, is that actually what they call
his
him?
name is Kidney Rock.
Oh boy!
Like he's a kidney stone.
Oh, you're right. There's a fucking big sign that says Kidney Rock, but they show it well before they show him on stage. So
yeah.
Okay,
and then there's like a weird like green germ man who looks like Kid Rock.
Well, anyway, back to the thing I was saying. Having Lawrence Fishburne as like the villain of this movie, but like they go through the whole movie making the little references here and there, but then like near the end of the movie, like I think 5 minutes apart from each other, we get a Matrix spoof and then we get a Titanic spoof. Like
damn.
Like it was so weird to have them like that close to each other because I was just like, man, you know what? The movie could have been like full of this shit and like it would have been Worse off. I'm glad.
Yeah, I mean that. I mean, at the time, those were timely references.
No, yeah,
Like,
well,
those
I'm glad.
just come out.
Yeah, totally.
Damn, what a time
I
to
just-
be alive.
Not that they're not, the rest of the movie is like great. It's just that was like very just sort of stood out as being like, oh my god, right? Right, this movie came out in 2001.
Yeah. Yeah. Kyle, you've been kind of quiet over there. What do you think about Osmosis Jones?
The only reason I remember this movie was someone on 4chan brought it up. That
God.
the worst death scene ever, or what is it? The most disturbing death scene.
Oh, for Thrax?
Yeah, and I just read right now that he's not even his name is a reference to anthrax, but he's
Well, yeah,
actually
because he's the
malaria.
anthrax virus. That's why Frank is dying.
No,
he's
that's not why.
No,
It says that he's based on malaria, if you can believe that.
that's
Well, he certainly isn't Ebola.
no.
Yeah.
Ebola's a case of dandruff in comparison to him.
But it was kind of weird how like I always assumed he was just the anthrax virus, and then like anthrax became like a big deal a couple years later.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, I never watched this movie in theaters, which is weird because I don't even know if the times line up or not, but I want to say that the trailer played in front of Iron Giant.
I know the trailer played in front of the third Pokemon movie.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
that
do.
might-
I do remember seeing the trailer in theater. I'm pretty sure I saw this in theater, so I don't remember exactly.
I feel like I might have
Yeah.
too. I'm not entirely certain.
It says Iron Giant came out in 1999, so maybe not.
Probably
Yeah.
not. Yeah.
I remember seeing the trailer in theater. It was like, oh, that might be cool, and then just never given a shit about it. But yeah, it's fun. You have a movie with it's not even really a noir. It's just take an idea and making it a buddy cop movie.
Yeah, man.
I mean, to think about how this was pitched to a fucking studio is kind of amazing.
We're gonna make a buddy cop movie, but it's set inside the body.
Yeah.
You know what I
it's
found more
live action.
surprising? The thing I found more surprising was that even given how bad this movie did at the box office, like apparently it did pretty well on home media after that, but it spun off into like a 2-season show.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ozzy and Drix. I'm like, after finding out that it didn't do that well, I'm like, I wonder why they would even think about like greenlighting that. Like, that's
'Cause
actually really
Kids
surprising.
WB needed more programming, and they're
I
like, "We
guess.
own this property. Fuck it, let's do it, and we'll teach kids about hygiene."
I don't really remember much about the cartoon, but I do remember watching it like when it aired. I guess I must have enjoyed it fair enough.
All I know about that show is that because in the show they get transferred from Bill Murray into like this little Latino boy, and
By like a mosquito or something, right?
no, I think he sneezed into him.
Oh, gross.
If I remember right, he gets sneezed out of Bill Murray, and it goes into the mouth of the Latino
Oh,
boy.
that's gross.
It's disgusting. But yeah, because they're like, so none of the only Osmosis Jones and Drix are the characters returning from the movie. Everyone else is brand new.
And they're replaced on the voice cast because obviously they can't keep Chris Rock or David Hyde Pierce. So then
No,
they got Phil
got
Lamar and Jeff Bennett.
yeah, man.
Well, honestly, do like from what I remember, do it pretty good. I know Phil Lamar because the thing is, before I rewatched this movie, I totally forgot Chris Rock was Osmosis Jones. I was so familiar with Phil Lamar doing it that I forgot he didn't do it in the movie.
It's Phil Lamar doing bad impression of Chris Rock.
Well, I mean,
that it.
I'm sure it's close enough.
Yeah, this would be the second Fairly Brothers movie to get a fucking cartoon.
what? Because Dumb and Dumber would have been the other one.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. Man, there were 3 Jim Carrey cartoons in the 90s. That is bonkers to think about.
Did we bring that up when we talked about Sonic?
I don't know. Did
I
we?
feel like we did. Yeah, because you got the mask.
Oh, yeah,
Ace
I think
Ventura,
I think
and
we
Dumb
might
and
have talked about Ace Ventura and the Mask. I don't know if we brought Dumb and Dumber up.
Dumber. Right.
That's still crazy. Yeah, Osmosis Jones is a fun movie.
The other thing I meant to bring up too is that this is like, I can't. When did Space Jam come out? Like in 90, 98, 97?
I want to
6,
say
I think.
96? Yeah, because I mean that was another like half live action, half animated thing that Bill Murray was in from Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
They had him on speed dial.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if that's maybe the reason why they brought him in for it, because
He's
people
like, build.
It's so
Get in
fucking
here.
weird to know about him because he's so picky on the roles that he gets, and then he's like in those movies. It makes you wonder. If,
Maybe
is he
he's
really
picky.
that picky?
Maybe he's picky now. After he's like, he did all the shitty movies. He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna do projects I want to do because
I'm not
I
even
got
aware.
Ghostbuster residual money.
From what I heard, he basically got threatened legally for being in the new Ghostbusters movie.
Really?
He was kind of forced
Why?
into it.
Weird.
I don't know, because he absolutely did not want to do the reboot one, the 2016 one, and
Oh yeah. I thought you meant like the new one coming out.
And then he dies in that movie.
yeah, which is good because I would want to die if I was in that movie too.
I think I'm one of the few people who don't hate the Lady Ghostbuster movie.
That's a whole nother discussion for another type of show.
That's a
It's
can of
not
worms I don't
animated
feel
at
like
all.
getting into right now.
I did want to say that I couldn't before you mentioned that he was in the new Ghostbusters. I was trying to think of any non-Wes Anderson movie Bill Murray has been in, like in the last decade.
Zombieland.
Oh shit, you're right. No, he's actually really prominent in Zombieland. Okay, never mind. Disregard what I said. Well, okay.
That's
Well,
where the whole
okay.
Garfield thing comes from.
Right. Oh, and then I guess. Well, no, the Garfield ones would have been like last decade. Yeah. Well, anyway,
Well, no, 'cause that was his regret when he dies.
Right. His one regret was that he didn't do enough Garfield movies.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Man,
Yeah.
he aged horribly.
Well,
He aged like a person ages. You know what it was? I think it was all those like chimp eggs. I think it was all those eggs that those chimp tainted eggs he ate.
yeah, man.
Did a number on him.
You get monkey viruses. That's how you get monkey viruses, man.
That's how you get corona.
He's 70 years
Eating
old.
monkey eggs.
Yeah.
He was in the Jungle Book. He
was in the Jungle Book.
He was in the second Dumb and Dumber movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about.
I didn't get around to watching that one.
Oh jeez.
So speaking of Farrelly brothers, though,
he's in Zombieland 2, which I guess he didn't die.
Oh, I didn't get around to watch. I wanted to watch that. But...
Me either.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess he is. I guess he isn't picky though.
All right.
Yeah, that's weird. He was in Mr. Fox as the Badger.
Well, that's because that's a Wes Anderson movie. Like I said, he's like pretty much in
yeah.
every Wes Anderson movie now because he was in Isle of Dogs as well.
Yeah, Wes Anderson got him on speed dial, along with everybody else.
And every other white person in Hollywood.
Oh, there it is. It's like, why isn't Isle of Dogs on here? It's in there. Cool. He was in Jungle Book.
You played what, Baloo?
Yeah.
Right. I forgot about that.
Baloo.
But anyway.
Yeah.
And he was in Lego Dimensions. Can you believe
the game?
I don't think he was in it. I think they used archive footage or archive audio.
Oh, well, yeah, because they did the Ghostbusters set for that, didn't they?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's all archive audio. Because I played that level. Because I have a little Bill Murray Lego figure.
Lego, I know that Lego Dimensions has been gone for a few years now, but you should put out an Ozzy and Drix set for Lego Dimensions.
Oh my god.
Way after the fact.
I mean, they are mostly Warner Brothers properties, and they do own Osmosis Jones, so I mean, fuck it.
We'll get Osmosis Jones and Space Jam 2.
Yeah.
I honestly am kind of wondering when we're gonna hear like Warner Brothers to reboot Osmosis Jones for the new generation.
Well,
I'm just waiting for the day.
God, after all this sickness, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to
And I
even,
mean-
like at least green light it, like not get any past that point.
And it's
but to
all gonna be
green-light it.
CG, like all of it.
Well,
No
as long
more
as it's
2D.
as long as it's stylized well.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I
So,
wouldn't be totally against it.
yeah. So Osmosis Jones is one of those, like, I'm pretty sure if you grew up in the 90s, you've seen this movie at least once, whether you saw it in the theaters or you saw it on the number of times it was run on television.
But
I
if you
don't know.
haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's
The animation's great.
yeah, the 2D animation especially is really good. This is like the heyday of Warner Brothers Animation before they kind of disappeared for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So
It
yeah,
also has got Bill Murray, so
it's got
there's
Bill
that.
Murray, and he almost dies,
It does.
and you watch him almost die, and it's really depressing.
But he doesn't. It's fine.
He
Spoiler.
doesn't die, and his weird kid cries and be like, "Daddy, don't die."
And it's even worse that his wife died before, so that girl would be an orphan if he died.
It's
No,
true.
no. They would have had their Uncle Bob, the Chris Elliott.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but she'd
Still.
still be an orphan because her family. would be
They
dead.
ever? I forget. Did they ever say why the mom died?
No, but the
it said
daughter.
like she was just as bad.
Yeah, the
Wow.
daughter made it seem like the diet and stuff was just as bad.
She
And I was
died
just
in the Beatus.
I was just thinking. I can't remember. Have you guys ever watched How I Met Your Mother?
Yeah.
Do you remember that Chris Elliott plays like the dad of what's her name's character on that?
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say like in some alternate Osmosis Jones timeline where Bill Murray dies, he adopts her and it goes into How I Met Your Mother.
There we go.
And
That's my-
the canon I'm accepting now.
Yep, that's my theory. That's my
Oh.
headcanon.
That's a game theory.
Thanks for watching.
Oh God. Let's not bring that into this. Yeah. So is there anything else you guys want to say about Osmosis Jones?
Eh,
No, I think we got it all covered.
It's a good one.
It's a good one. Yeah. A lot better than I remembered.
Yeah. There you go. Well, all right, guys. There you go. There's our thoughts on a good classic animated film. Tell us in the comments what you think of this movie, what your fond or not so fond memories are of it, and again, I hope everyone is staying healthy out there. I know a lot of states are on lockdown these days. I know I am.
Well, yeah, me and Kyle too.
Yeah, so I hope everyone's doing okay out there.
I hope everyone's own personal Ozzy and Drixes are keeping them healthy.
Great, man. Man, that's kind of scary to think about. There's a bunch of millions of tiny little people that live inside of you.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked up, man.
you do a sugar pill to treat cancer. So.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He lied.
Makes for a heck of a pep talk, though. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll catch y'all next week.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Ink and Paint Club podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the show. Join our Discord to chat with us, and subscribe to our Patreon for some cool bonuses. Links are in the description. We'll see you next time.